The Bible is a profound text that offers insight into God's relationship with Israel. From Genesis to Revelation, the scriptures depict Israel as a nation chosen by God. This divine selection is not just a historical fact, but a spiritual truth that resonates throughout the Bible. God's covenant with Israel is a central theme, showcasing his promises and the special bond he shares with this nation. Israel's significance in the Bible is underscored by numerous passages that highlight God's protection and blessings. Conversely, these scriptures also warn of consequences for those who oppose Israel. This duality of blessings and curses forms a core part of the biblical narrative. Understanding these passages helps us grasp the depth of God's commitment to Israel. The Bible also portrays Israel as a beacon of God's faithfulness. Through their triumphs and tribulations, Israel stands as a testament to God's unwavering support. This relationship is not merely about favoritism. It is about fulfilling divine promises and showcasing God's glory to the world. In essence, Israel's story is a reflection of God's plan for humanity. In this video, we will explore key biblical passages that shed light on what the Bible says about those who are against Israel. We will delve into scriptures from Genesis, Zechariah, Isaiah, Joel, Numbers and Psalms. Each passage reveals a facet of God's protection and judgment, offering a comprehensive view of Israel's divine significance. Genesis 12:3 is a foundational verse that outlines God's promise to Abraham. It states, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." This verse is significant as it establishes the principle of blessings and curses based on one's treatment of Israel. God's promise to Abraham extends to his descendants, making it a perpetual covenant. This promise is not just a statement, but a divine decree. It underscores the importance of Israel in God's plan. Those who support and bless Israel are assured of God's favor. Conversely, those who oppose or curse Israel are warned of divine retribution. This verse sets the tone for understanding God's protective stance over Israel throughout the Bible. The promise also highlights the broader impact of Israel's relationship with God. Through Israel, all nations are to be blessed. This indicates that God's plan for Israel is not insular but inclusive, aiming to bring blessings to the entire world. The verse thus serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of humanity in God's eyes. Genesis 12:3 is a cornerstone for interpreting subsequent biblical passages about Israel. It provides a lens through which we can understand God's actions and promises. This verse is a testament to God's faithfulness and his unwavering commitment to Israel, setting the stage for the biblical narrative that follows. Zechariah 12:2-3 offers a vivid depiction of God's protection over Jerusalem. The verses state, "I'm going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples reeling. On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves." These verses show God's determination to safeguard Jerusalem against all odds. The imagery of Jerusalem as an immovable rock is powerful. It conveys the idea that God's protection is steadfast and unyielding. No matter how many nations come against Jerusalem, they will not succeed. Instead, they will harm themselves in the process. This passage underscores the futility of opposing God's chosen city. The verses also highlight the unique status of Jerusalem in God's plan. It is not just a city, but a symbol of God's presence and promise. The protection of Jerusalem is a reflection of God's broader covenant with Israel. It serves as a reminder that God's promises are enduring and unbreakable. Zechariah 12:2-3 thus reinforces the theme of divine protection. It assures believers that God's commitment to Israel is unwavering. This passage, like many others, serves to remind us of the special place Israel holds in God's heart and the consequences for those who oppose it. Isaiah 54:17 is a verse that offers reassurance of God's protection. It states, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord." This verse is a powerful declaration of God's promise to protect his people from all forms of harm. The phrase, "no weapon forged against you will prevail," is particularly striking. It suggests that while adversaries may attempt to harm Israel, their efforts will ultimately fail. This promise is not just about physical protection, but also about safeguarding the integrity and honor of God's people. It is a comprehensive assurance of divine security. The verse also speaks to the idea of vindication. God promises that his people will be able to refute every accusation against them. This implies a divine justice that will prevail, ensuring that truth and righteousness are upheld. It is a reminder that God's protection extends beyond the physical to the moral and spiritual realms. Isaiah 54:17 encapsulates the essence of God's promise of protection. It reassures believers of God's unwavering support and the futility of opposition. This verse, like many others, highlights the special relationship between God and Israel, emphasizing the divine protection that comes with it. Joel chapter 3, verses 1 to 2, Judgment on Nations. A prophetic vision of God's judgment on nations based on their treatment of Israel. "I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will put them on trial for what they did to my people Israel." This passage underscores the seriousness with which God views the treatment of Israel. The imagery of gathering nations for judgment is striking. It conveys the idea of a divine tribunal where nations are held accountable. This passage serves as a warning to nations about the consequences of mistreating Israel. It underscores the gravity of such actions and the certainty of divine judgment. Section 6. Numbers chapter 24, verse 9, Balam's prophecy. Numbers chapter 24, verse 9, contains a prophecy by Balam that echoes the theme of blessings and curses. The verse states, "Like a lion, they crouch and lie down. Like a lioness, who dares to rouse them? May those who bless you be blessed, and those who curse you be cursed." This prophecy reinforces the idea that God will bless those who bless Israel and curse those who curse it. The imagery of a lion and lioness conveys strength and majesty. It suggests that Israel is powerful and protected, not to be trifled with. The rhetorical question, "who dares to rouse them?" implies that any attempt to harm Israel will be met with divine retribution. This reinforces the notion of God's protective stance over Israel. Balaam's prophecy also highlights the reciprocal nature of blessings and curses. It suggests that one's treatment of Israel will directly influence their own fate. This idea is consistent with the broader biblical theme of divine justice and reciprocity. It serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of actions and consequences in God's plan. Numbers chapter 24, verse 9 thus adds to the biblical narrative of divine protection and judgment. It reinforces the special status of Israel and the importance of treating it with respect and honor. This prophecy, like many others, underscores the enduring nature of God's promises to Israel. Section 7, Psalm 121, verse 4, God's constant vigilance. Psalm 121, verse 4, offers a comforting reminder of God's constant vigilance over Israel. The verse states, "Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." This simple yet profound statement underscores the idea that God's protection is unwavering and continuous. The imagery of God never slumbering or sleeping conveys a sense of perpetual watchfulness. It suggests that God's protection is not limited by time or circumstance. This reassurance is particularly comforting for believers, as it emphasizes the idea that God is always present and attentive. The verse also highlights the personal nature of God's protection. It suggests that God is not just a distant deity, but a vigilant guardian who is actively involved in the lives of his people. This personal aspect of God's protection is a recurring theme in the Bible, reflecting his deep care and commitment to Israel. Psalm 121, verse 4, thus reinforces the theme of divine protection. It reassures believers of God's unwavering support and constant vigilance. This verse, like many others, highlights the special relationship between God and Israel, emphasizing the divine protection that comes with it. Section 8. Conclusion: Divine Protection and Consequences. The Bible highlights both divine protection and the consequences for those who oppose Israel. From Genesis to Psalms, Israel's special status in God's plan is emphasized. Key passages offer insight into God's promises and judgments. These verses underscore the importance of treating Israel with respect and honor. The theme of divine protection is a recurring motif in the Bible. God promises to safeguard Israel against all forms of harm. This protection showcases God's glory to the world. In conclusion, God has a special plan for Israel, and those who oppose it do so at their own peril.